Well, Chris and I had a peace deal, and then he got offensive and blew up, and the whole peace deal's done now, so we're back to the negotiating table. We'll be back right after this.
Oh, my gosh.
In a minute. And it's raining again. I'm glad. We needed some rain. I'm happy with the rain.
Are you?
The weather over the next 24 hours is insane.
Well, we
It's
needed
spring.
a little bit of rain to wash the salt away.
Oh, yeah,
The
for sure.
sidewalks are muddy. There could
Yeah,
be some rain.
salty.
But what my understanding is what we're getting is we're getting rain followed
morning,
by gale force winds, followed by snow.
Oh, you mean it's Missouri?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it'll
Yeah.
be 70 on Saturday.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Spring in the Ozarks.
Is it soccer season?
Yeah, started practice yesterday.
That's exciting.
And with the girls, and so we're excited. Yeah, it's weird. And we're in that weird in between, right? Like we don't have 3 players because they're hopefully going a long way in the basketball postseason tournaments. So the basketball girls play Thursday night in districts, and then hopefully they continue on from that. But yeah. So we're in the in between. Spring sports have started, and basketball's wrapping up. I think wrestling's done now. So
I guess this is March Madness. Is that what's?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
That would start
That'd
at some
be-
point, I'm guessing, in March.
That's not a thing.
They don't call it that for high school. That's a college thing.
Well,
But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, we're in that. The college teams will be starting their postseason tournaments, and then the big dance. The big dance is, I guess there's like 3 of them now. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah, craziness.
exciting.
It's same thing. Like it's warm when we started training yesterday. I was freezing by the end of it.
Yep.
Today
Yep.
it's going to be gale force winds, and then
Yep.
we'll be freezing on Wednesday.
and
It'll
it's
be good
trap
times.
seasons. They're shooting
Yeah.
crap too. Yeah. So,
And track season as well.
they practice at our house. So
do they?
we hear the shotguns going off when they're practicing. Which
Pew!
I love it.
You're
I
like
love it.
ducking.
It's awesome.
Huh, huh.
That sounds like fun.
That's exciting.
Over in the field, so it's not so bad.
I'm sure there's some waivers signed.
Yes.
Wait, yeah. It's a lengthy waiver.
There's some waivers
It's
involved.
Some legal
lengthy.
documents involved in that.
For sure.
What could possibly go wrong?
Not much because we train them well.
Well, that's true.
That's the key with all of that. you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited for spring though. Just in general, just let's go. Let's get this last round of snow out of the way, and
We know it's coming.
we'll probably
Yeah.
have one in April, right? Isn't that how
For
it
sure.
works?
You never
First
know.
week had them in May.
You never
we
know.
had
That's
some
true.
numbers in May.
That is true.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
lots
Well.
of stuff is happening. I don't know what exactly.
Well, we have tariffs, we have spending freezes, and we have
World War III.
World War III on the horizon.
the insightful political analysis that so many folks are putting out on Facebook. It's
that's-
amazing how the experts have arrived to give
Yeah.
their lengthy opinions
We're all
supported by
experts.
ChatGPT now. It's great.
Hey, ChatGPT, tell me what to think.
I think what's really
terrifying.
I don't know. I'm gonna let it go. But
This really though has been entertaining theater.
it has been.
If you try to ignore the possible implications, it's really entertaining.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it's
Well,
funny.
I mean, you have a comedian actor who's actually playing a president of a war-torn nation.
Yes. Yeah.
Showing up to a president's office who's a multimillionaire,
Billionaire.
real estate billionaire.
I think he's
Reality TV personality,
reality TV
billionaire.
personality turned TV guy,
Business,
president
yeah.
turned president again. Like, it is bizarro world, to say the least.
It's awesome.
There is
It's awesome.
There's a picture that's often used in memes, and it's like, it looks kind of like a kid's picture from like the 70s. It's got that weird orange undertone, and the kid's holding a guitar, and he's like, "Ah!" Like, you can tell he's screaming
Yeah.
and strumming the guitar. That's what's happening.
Okay.
Wow.
It is wild though, and it's so interesting to watch because, like, I think I was in Carline sitting there, and I looked at something on Instagram, and it was like Trump and Zelensky have an absolute blow up, and Trump is a trash human, and Zelensky is a trash human, and everyone's a trash human, and then oh, here come the shared posts from ambiguous Facebook pages that we're all supposed to just adopt as truth on both sides.
Yeah.
There's, I have noticed a market, I think I maybe mentioned this last week, a market increase in the social media shares from nonsense websites that are just clearly manufacturing
Yes.
things
Yeah. It's
to
scary.
appeal to one particular leaning or not. What I do think is really interesting is people's opinion on this matter is significantly influenced by how they feel about President Trump.
Oh, 100%. That's so clear. It's so outrageously
It's clear, but it's dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Because it's like if you're of the opinion and the bent that everything he does is wrong, then you're going to see whatever he does is wrong, whether it's
scary.
wrong or not. And everybody is going to do something right and probably something wrong when they're in a position like that, or any position. Everybody's going to get some things right and some things wrong, except me. I'm generally right all the time, as we know. But well, if I make a mistake, I change it. If I figure out I'm wrong, I will just change my opinion, and then I'm not wrong anymore. So,
Yeah.
Good morning, Tatiana.
That almost sounds like adulting.
I know.
I think it's
Acknowledging
important
wrong
to.
and changing course.
I think it's important to consult with experts before jumping to rash decisions. I'm just going to throw
hard
that out
part,
there.
though, is
And if
who's an
somebody's an
expert?
expert and they're
Yeah.
telling you something and you're not listening, that's concerning.
But who's an
So-
expert? That's the problem now. Is you've got all these
Everybody.
people trotted.
Everybody.
Well, but I mean, even people. I have a doctorate and blah blah blah. It doesn't matter because you're getting funded by USAID to have a particular opinion, and so it's all BS anyway.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I mean,
I don't know. I'm more talking on the local level because
Well, I'll give you that.
This wrapped up. We have become completely wrapped up in the drama of political stuff that we have absolutely no control over.
and know nothing about.
And we
Like,
know nothing about
pretend that
because
we
I'm
know
sorry, we were
everything.
not in the room when those decisions were made.
Yeah.
And we were not. And this is a strategic move, X, Y, and Z. This was the plan. Bull crap, you don't know.
Yeah.
You were not in the room when those politicians made that plan, so you do not know.
There are certain things that I think we do know.
Do we?
Well, I mean,
We don't know.
to some extent.
Well,
I mean,
there's things we know, like giving absurd amounts of money
It's wasteful.
without oversight is not, well, it's wasteful on one hand. It's also not sustainable.
No.
Because if there is no end goal, then where's the final dollar?
right.
Right.
yeah.
So,
Well-
and Trump is right in saying we're not going to continue to perpetuate this war just so you can keep a war going.
Well, and the interesting thing is when I listen to the words coming out of President Trump's mouth, I don't hear him talking about we don't want to spend any more money. What I hear him talking about is we don't want to see any more Ukrainian lives lost. He's always talking about the life cost. He's never talking about the dollar cost. He's almost always talking.
I push back on that. He is talking about the
to some.
dollar, because and he's also trying to say, hey, if we can get a cut of your natural resources, we'll work something
But
out here.
there is. I mean,
and I'm fine with that, by the way.
Well, but I don't even think
I'm not
that.
saying he's motivated by that. I'm just saying the financial part is also a player there. It's
Well, if
not
you-
purely about.
But if you listen to
lives lost.
what Marco Rubio is saying and what Trump has said and what J.D. Vance has said, is like, listen, the best guarantee of Ukrainian security is an American investment. Because if there's American boots on the ground, American money invested in the Ukraine, you're darn right America is going to protect that investment, and that's the best defense they could possibly have, is American investment in Ukraine. That's just smart.
Sure.
Because
Rather
we
than
can make
giving money away, it's an investment.
Well,
in the
we can
United
make a deal that will protect you, but then we can pull that.
What was Victor's first comment? He said, because Victor has an interesting perspective on this,
sure,
because his dad was from the Ukraine, and so I think we missed his first comment.
Any chance we can go back and see Victor's first comment?
It's curious because I don't know. Victor
says he supports President Trump.
And
Okay.
his dad's from Ukraine, and I mean that's such a unique perspective that again, you need to trust the people that you're talking to. The most insulting thing at times is asking someone's opinion, them giving it to you, and then not listening to them.
Well,
and in fact, just casting them to the side.
Right.
And it's very... So I'm just going to keep saying it over and over. Talk to the people that you know, you see, you trust. Spend less time sharing crap on the internet and get some real perspective on what's going on in the world right in front of your face.
Well, you've been making the point. I'm more concerned about what's going on at a local level, what people are saying at a local level. In Rogersville, we have a unique opportunity because we have families here in Rogersville that are both Russian and Ukrainian. And I don't mean like we have Russian families and Ukrainian families. I'm saying we have families who have people from both nationalities within one family. So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Go ask questions and
Talk
go
to
listen.
them.
Talk less, ask more questions, and you might get some perspective from people. And there's a reason they're here, by the way. So
there is a reason they're here. And
you
when
might learn something. If
Land of the free, home of the brave.
Listen to them when you ask them the questions.
Yeah, don't ask the question so that you can then give your speech.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Have a listen.
Listen to learn, not to respond.
Exactly.
Yep.
But
I hear that all the time.
it's easy to say.
Using logic and diplomacy to end a war that costs lives and money should be everyone's agenda. There you go.
That makes
Tatiana.
logical
Thank
sense. I know. That makes sense. It is. I think it's frustrating times, and I think what is most frustrating for me is seeing changes in people's personalities, their close relationships, because they are so caught up in the noise. Because I'm always going to say it, you can do more on the local level than you can on the big stage because we're not there.
Yeah.
So our focus really needs to be your family, your friends, your community. Well, God, let's throw that out there. Number one, because
that's the base. That's the foundation.
That's the foundation, and then go from there. Yeah. But because I'm telling you, there's a lot going on under the surface, even here at the local level, that people are ignoring that they need to be paying attention to. And if you're so ingrained into causing trouble for politicians that you will never see, talk to, meet in person, why don't you push that level of involvement into the politicians that you can walk into their office and talk to them, or go to a meeting and talk to them?
There you go.
Because I'm sorry, this is what has gotten America in the out of control state it's in. Right? Handing things off to people that we vote for, and then allowing them to just kind of run wild. That's what's happened.
Yeah. You can go to a city council meeting right here.
Absolutely,
right
you
here
can.
in Rogersville.
Yeah.
Yep.
That whole for the people, by the people thing is just kind of lost something as we've elected people and then just ignored what they're doing.
And it takes effort. That's the problem. That's truly the problem.
Well,
and some of it's a time issue, too.
Just even this last week, there were some comments going on about, who voted on this, this Jamestown development, right? Like these homes going up. And I get it. People have an opinion. Like, I think everybody was hoping there would be the next level tier of
that city council meeting was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And that's what the people were saying. Who voted on this? Whose input? They don't listen.
We voted on this.
Yeah.
You did not.
I went to planning and zoning twice. Then went to the council meeting, and I gave my opinion.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, okay, this plan shows they're going to keep 14 acres commercial. Could they just leave this whole little land island here and make it 30 acres and do residential everywhere else? So was it received? Well, yes, but it wasn't. They didn't adopt my plan.
Yeah.
But I voiced my reasoning and my opinion. I participated in politics. But if anybody has a right to go on Facebook and gripe, it would be me.
Yeah.
But everybody else who wasn't at the planning and Tatiana was there. She remembers, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like she could have, she can vouch for it, but everybody else that's on Facebook complaining, where
Well,
were you
here's-
when there was a process? They could have listened to 200 people, and they might have changed course.
There was about 4 comments in that thread that were wildly inaccurate.
Oh, they were just wrong.
They were wrong. And I literally stepped in and said, that is not even the same parcel you are talking about.
There you
You're
go.
talking
Planning
about
and zoning is
across
the
the highway
second
over
and
there.
fourth Tuesday of
It's
every month.
very
at 6
interesting.
p.m.
I occasionally go sometimes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not as involved as I used to be because there's only so much time in the day. But
Sure.
honestly, and then I literally said, that is not the right parcel. That's not even what we're talking about here. And the person's like, well, it's about too many houses in Rogersville. Well, I'm more concerned about spreading accurate information.
Right.
Because this is how these problems start. It's like, and you think like at some point people would realize truth is important.
Yes.
I'm a little fired up this morning.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't really know where this came from, but I'm not really feeling it right now because
Yeah, Beth, vote.
it gets your blood boiling. I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't vote,
Participate.
participate.
Listen,
Well,
participate, but when you participate, do it with kindness and do it with truth. And it's okay to be
Until
blunt.
it's necessary
Right.
to not.
It's
yes.
okay to be blunt.
Yeah.
It's okay to say, hey, I'm calling you out because you said this and now you're doing this.
Yeah.
You can say that with some tension in your voice. but you still need
I
to
have
be
a
kind.
classic saying that I say to people, I know I'm difficult, but like
The
here's
truth
why.
still matters, and I'm gonna.
Yes.
I need to say this. So, yeah, it's there's lots of examples, but this example from last week really,
Yeah.
and here it is, right? There's lots of areas out there that I'm uninformed on. They just happen to bring something up. I'm like, oh, I've been in on that. I know the details. I've asked all
Yeah.
the questions. I participated in government, so I'm aware.
I have an interest
I have
in
an
it.
interest,
I
right?
am, it's like, it's just wild. And it's the same, and again, it's noise. It's just
they're just
noise
shooting
on
from
a
the
more
hip.
local.
Like you somebody saying, boop, 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 boop,
Yep.
boop, boop.
Well,
Just shooting at nothing.
I've told people before, and I people work for me. I tell them this in conversations. I said, the worst thing that you can do to somebody is to make them feel stupid. And so, anytime you're in a conversation with somebody and they're going to look stupid, they're going to usually react viscerally about that. That's the lizard brain is going to kick in. I'm going to defend my reputation. I'm going to defend my pride. I'm going to defend myself because I don't want to look stupid.
Yep.
Even to the
Yep.
point that I think that I may be wrong, I'm going to go down swinging because I don't want to look wrong. I don't want to look stupid. And so it's really kind of hard to have those conversations in a way to where you like allow someone to save face. Mm-hmm. So if you've almost got to do that, and social media doesn't lend itself to letting people save face. It's too much fun to score the win and do that. And
it's
the
too
converse
easy.
of that is we've got to be willing to go, oh, I never thought about it from that perspective. I might be wrong.
Right.
And,
Very few people have the ability to say
yeah,
that.
it's like, okay, I didn't consider that. That's new information to me. I didn't know that. You may be right. And, that's the key really to growth, maturity, and having an informed opinion because, you can always be right later. Okay, I was wrong before. I'm right now. That's kind of what I was saying at the beginning. If you find out you're wrong, let's just not hang on to that. But so many people want to go down swinging. And frankly, so many people are so fired up in a way, particularly about President Trump, that they just can't let it go. I mean,
And
he's got to be the devil.
People are fired up too about our local government, just even here in Rogersville, because what people are really saying is, I don't like the plan.
Yeah.
It's growing too fast. There's too many homes.
Yeah.
And look, I have been one that have in the past have said, I think the city needs to be more proactive in their planning rather than reactive. And I've shared that with the mayor. I've shared that with our city administrator.
Yeah.
And so, and I love that. I saw both of those men in the last week. I love them both. They're great. They're great men, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not this hatred thing. It's just I'm expressing this opinion. I want to see us do a better job of planning for the future, right? So that's a conversation we can have. But every time a new rooftop comes up, to gripe and complain about how it's being done is not helping anything.
True. Yeah.
No,
I mean, you've got to participate in the process.
And it's, at some point too, you got to be a little bit careful with your criticism because, always being like, well, we've got this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem. Well, fine. But there's a whole lot of good happening.
Yeah.
obviously that's why there's so many houses being built, is because everybody's like, maybe I should move there. So, and somebody made the crazy comment, who wants all these houses? Everyone that's bought one since they've built them. The last subdivision was pre-bought. There were 40 of them pending at one time, consistently all the time.
Right.
That's who wants them. You're crazy if you don't see the need.
I don't have the money to buy 200 acres or whatever and put in a housing development, right? So who am I to sit around and complain about somebody that does and is doing it?
Yeah.
Here's my deal. At Jamestown, I have prayed over this property for the last 5 years plus. And I literally prayer walk the streets, and I'm looking forward to meeting our new neighbors. Now, it's
a great location for housing.
Is it done the way that I would have done it if I were
if you were the developer and forked out the money, you'd probably do something a little different.
Do it a little bit differently. But at the end of the day.
But I mean, they're using a proven system that's worked over and over and over again, that's designed to make profits because they're a business and that's what they're doing. They're not a charity.
Yeah. Right. So they're building homes, which is exciting, and there is still commercial acreage here to expand the commercial.
And frankly, if you're riddle me this. You're a builder, and all you're seeing from the community is that you want cheap things. That restaurant is too expensive. Yeah. That house is too expensive. The rent is too damn high. And I can say that quote because that guy used to say it that ran for president.
You were quoting. It was a quote. Yeah.
So all you're hearing is...
That was the name of his political party.
Yeah, the rent is too damn high. So...
I forgot about that.
I mean, how could you forget?
It's been a while.
So... That's all the community is telling you that they want in the loudest way. Yep. Cheap. We want cheap stuff. So if you're a developer and you're seeing that on a regular basis and not out there talking to the people who actually know what sells in Rogersville, then you're probably going to put as many houses on as many small lots as you possibly can and build houses with the most cost-effective building materials possible. You're not going to take acre parcels and build $700,000 houses and stick them right in the middle of town.
There is something to be said, though, because we've heard a lot of people talking about how, young people can't buy a house because starter houses are so expensive. Well, we're seeing some more affordable housing coming in.
Yep, and they're mad about that, too.
Does make a nice stepping stone, for young folks looking to get a starter house build some equity rather than rent.
I'm out there meeting these young couples that are buying these new homes in Rogersville, and they're wonderful young people. We need to quit acting like, we build these cheap homes and we're just going to have problems in Rogersville. It's just inviting trouble. Like we're bringing in just the worst people in the world to come live in our town.
It's not necessarily true.
It's just simply not what's happening.
No, and I mean, it's kind of like everybody said, the apartments, there's all these apartments. I'm a very neutral on apartments person. They're a necessity of life, right? It is what it is. And so that I've just never had a strong opinion either way on that. And all these apartments are going to increase all the crimes, going to cause all these problems, blah, blah, blah. It does sound like it's increased some dog poop on some sidewalks.
I did see that.
Wow, and that was...
And the verdict sound, is it geese, is it dog? It could be anything.
I don't think geese are laying them like that.
Big old goose.
But has the crime gone up? No. Talk to the chief of police. He'll tell you that the crime has not gone up.
I don't think criminals can afford $1,500 a month for
last time I checked, not
too often. How good they are.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, those kind of criminals. Those kind of criminals don't bother you.
So, I mean, usually the concerns are not as quite great as the actual impact. And I mean, let's be honest, if you can afford to get a mortgage on a $250,000 house with zero down right now, which is how a lot of these are going to sell because they're going to qualify for USDA loans, you're making pretty good income. Like a lender's gone through, like our friend Tatiana, and checked your credit and checked your income and looked at your history, and you can afford that. So guess what, those people, they have jobs, they're moving into the community. What we need to focus on is grasping them to spend their dollars in Rogersville.
That's it. Here. That's really what we need.
And it's okay. And it's
Drink your coffee here.
Which means we need those commercial buildings in place.
Can we talk about how weird Seven Brew is?
It's a cult.
Never been there.
So weird.
Do you know, like, teenagers want to just have the cup in their hand?
It's so
I've heard
weird.
that. Yeah.
It's like this
It's
badge.
so interesting to
Yeah.
me. And at the end of the day, you know what it really truly is? A
Sugar.
commercial business land strategy.
Yeah.
that's all it is.
They're building. Do you know how they
It's like the
build their
McDonald's
buildings?
deal.
It's in like a prefab deal, isn't it?
It's a prefab,
Yeah.
basically like buying a shipping container.
Yep.
That's essentially what it is.
Yep.
It's just, and they build the whole thing in a warehouse and then put it on a truck and ship it and just drop it
And
on a
drop it
concrete
in.
pad.
Boom, there's a Seven
Yep.
Brew.
It's the same reason they used to build Walgreens so cheap on corners.
Well,
they
that's
still do.
McDonald's. That was the whole McDonald's strategy was the land.
And it's a further down. It's same with the it used to be $3 car wash. That's changed now. Model. You can build a relatively inexpensive structure.
Yep.
That when the property value has gone up and you've enjoyed the income from the lease and the write-offs and all this stuff, you can doze it and move on to the next cycle.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these businesses are literally designed to rise and fall and then move on to the next one, which is such an interesting part of commercial development that I don't think, because especially as individuals who are maybe growing a business, the idea is
Trying to grow a community.
I want to grow this. I want this to be my baby. I'm going to put everything into it. I want my kids to take it over. That's not the reality
They don't do
for a
that
lot
anymore.
of these commercial businesses. That is not what they are designed to do.
Yeah.
And people don't talk about this stuff. They're like,
building the
why do we have
portfolio.
seven brews? Because they can make X amount of dollars from that small space.
And because if you put enough
buys the
syrup
land
and
more.
chocolate and
They're addicted.
sugar in bad
Notice-
we serve good coffee that you could drink black, but
Yeah.
you don't do that with Seven Brew. It's nasty coffee covered in sugar.
Notice the product that a lot of
Until
these
Seven Brew becomes a
places are
sponsor
selling.
of the show,
They're
then we
crap.
may have a different opinion.
And I mean,
You never
honestly,
know.
I don't have anything against Seven Brew. I think it's so
No,
interesting.
listen, I'm all for like business. Anybody
Yeah.
comes up with a business model that's killing it, I'm
Good
just,
for them.
I'm just a coffee snob, so it needs to be good coffee.
But it is. I watched a really short video on Hong Kong and what people live in Hong Kong. They literally
Coffins.
have cage houses
Yeah,
and
yeah.
coffin apartments.
Yep.
And that is noted as the biggest free enterprise city in the world, I think, which doesn't really make sense to me because the whole platform of it is propped up on the fact that the government owns all the land and leases it to the businesses, and you don't pay taxes, and you have all this ability to do business the way you want it, but it's completely only works because the government owns the land and leases it to the business. It's very interesting, and I don't understand it because I'm not a world economist, but it was mind-blowing.
That shouldn't stop you.
I know. So
You have an opinion and a right to be heard.
yeah.
And that's all true.
We're not living in cage houses, people, here in Rogersville. You know what I mean?
Yeah, these are not cage houses
Let's
going
get
up.
it together.
Yeah. They're going to be lovely little first homes, and lovely young
And
couples are going to
they're
move
not
into
going to drop in value if they drop in value overnight, then we have a bigger problem.
Yeah.
A way bigger
Right.
problem.
Everybody's houses
They're
are
not
dropping in
destroying your
value.
property value either.
Everybody's got it. They are not destroying your property
They're actually
value.
increasing your property value.
Yes. So
Bitcoin's on the dip. Did you know that? I bought a little
Interesting.
Bitcoin this morning. Yeah, it dipped. It dipped. It's
I
down.
have to go do my job though. Opening.
Opening a sit. Yes, would love to have that. Yeah.
It'd be good. It'd be good. And like I said, there's going to be a domino effect. I'm calling
There
it.
will be.
I do have to go do my full-time job.
Me too.
So I probably should cut out of here a little bit earlier today. And but yeah, so it was an
Well,
interesting
we can't do the
conversation.
show without you, Lauren. So we'll just have to.
We'll just
have
call
to
it good.
shut her down.
We got a couple
but-
more minutes. Is there anything else we need to announce? What's happening?
Well, I already mentioned
We've made it through
basketball
gala
districts
season.
I think we're hosting. The boys are hosting. Are the girls hosting?
I have no idea.
I think we're only allowed to host one. I think the guys
Might as
are
well throw
hosting.
this out there. We're going to keep doing the estate planning workshops here at the
There you
law
go.
firm.
Yeah.
So, go to worshipworkshops.com.
It's a great
Take
thing that
look.
you can accomplish locally.
Yeah. And they're fun. They're entertaining. People,
Yeah.
they love them. They have a great time. We have a good time.
We're open Thursday nights down here
That's
at
true.
Storytime. Last week was so much fun. Shout out to
cool.
Laura Daughtry for getting a bunch of people together to come play the cornhole tournament.
Oh, yeah,
we
Laura,
had
she's
so much
awesome.
fun. We're going to keep doing that about once a quarter. the first time we raised money for Safe Haven. Now
Yeah.
this time we raised money for an orphanage we're building in Bolivia.
Cool.
So yeah, anyway, it was so much fun. Those are a blast. I can't wait to do the next one outdoors, and hopefully we have even more people come out.
What is the next one coming up this Thursday? What night is it? Do you remember?
I should know, and I don't.
I don't know. It's okay.
No bluegrass show tomorrow.
Oh, is there not?
No, we're taking. Sam texted me. We're taking tomorrow off from
bummer.
bluegrass. I can't remember. There's something going on, but
Okay,
I can't do it.
okay.
But we'll be back. We'll be back in April with the bluegrass show, first Wednesday of every month. That's
Very
a good
cool.
time.
Yeah.
We're doing it down in your auditorium.
Yeah,
down there.
down at Story Church.
So there's more room. You can actually come watch them live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you
We
can
had
watch them streaming.
a good turnout. And by the way, Doc Zimmer buys your coffee, so we have
Well, look at
had
that.
a huge pot of black coffee out there. And
That's great.
So
All right.
Very
Good
cool.
time.
Oh, Sue's going to be open. Time to Love's going to be open for a Saturday morning pop-up. This
yeah, I saw
Saturday,
that.
they're going to have pastries, coffee, and one of our
Somebody's
foreign exchange
playing
students is going to play the piano. He's done it before there, just
cool.
like off the cuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that'll be great. So if you haven't got a chance to try Time to Loaf, you can do that Saturday morning. I can't remember the exact hours, but it's in the morning.
It's in the morning.
And you can find it on their Facebook page. So that's exciting.
You probably show up around 9. Pretty much everything starts around 9.
Yeah,
so.
and it's just going to be their pastries. They're focusing on that instead of doing all their other lunch type items. But yeah, come check it out.
Can I get a breakfast burrito? You think?
I don't think so. I think they're just doing pastries.
It's okay. Those cinnamon rolls are killer.
Oh my gosh,
Love
they're
the
so
cinnamon rolls.
good.
All right,
All right.
folks. I think that'll be it for this week. We will be back next week. Stay tuned. 9 o'clock today. Alex Bryant, Frontline Faith, be right out here on Planet 417. Stay tuned for that. It's a good show.
Good stuff.
Sure, he'll be talking about Trump and Zelensky because that's part
We'll
of his
let him.
gig.
He's
And
probably a little more informed.
He
can
probably does his research and stuff. So, all right. Thanks, folks. See you next week.
Bye.